in 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, welcome to the CineBoiz podcast. We are part of the Cork Bats Podcast Network. We're here. It's Monday, April 12th, 2021. We're here to just talk about some movies. So we're down a man this week, as you can tell. Tom is actually at a movie trivia and movie anniversary conference. So he's, it's podcast related. He's working on podcast stuff. He went to this conference, forgot where it was, somewhere in New Mexico. But yeah, he's out there doing that. And he's going to make our podcast better, you know?
I think it was Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Yeah, he's on official show business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but we are down our most moral boy, I would say.
Yeah, easily the moral compass.
So things might get dirty today.
Yeah, it could go off the rails really quick, just because he usually keeps me in check from saying things like "fuck." So, who knows? But anyways, yes, we are the CineBoiz podcast. We are part of the Cork Bats Podcast Network. We are Cork Bats movie, TV, and entertainment podcasts. We are not a sports podcast. Don't bring your sports around here.
Wouldn't dream of it.
No. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, basically, thank you so much. Please consider subscribing, rating, reviewing, telling a friend, all that good stuff. If you're watching us on the Cork Bats YouTube page, thank you as well. Be sure to follow Cork Bats, like this video, and so on and so forth. All that stuff it just does wonders for us. So just keep doing it. Thanks for doing it if you have already. But guys, like I said, we're down, man. But that doesn't mean that we can't have a good time. And I really want to have a good time with you guys today. I'm joined, of course, first and foremost, by our good friend on the East Coast, Mr. Michael O'Brien. Mob, how are you today?
Oh, I'm living the dream.
What are you big on this week, my man?
I am big on not the city of Atlanta, but the TV show. Donald Glover posted a nice little thing on Instagram showing a little shot of season 3, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I saw that too.
He does weird stuff on Instagram. He just posts weird random things announcing stuff, and he did it with Atlanta season 3. And you know what? I'm here for it. And I'm big on it.
It's a great show. I'm excited for it to come back. I'm excited for a lot of things to come back.
Mm-hmm.
It'll
be interesting because this will be his last thing with FX because he signed that huge deal with Amazon Prime.
Oh, he did? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he signed a huge deal on Amazon Prime.
Does that mean this is it's the final season then?
I don't know.
Interesting.
No one knows. It's Donald Glover. He just will leave Community and then go do weird other stuff. And
talk about maybe the biggest difference between a real human and a character. I thought Donald Glover, and he's changed over time as he's gotten more into music and writing and stuff. But when first watching Community, you're like, this dude is super chill, super weird, doesn't care about much, doesn't take life too personally.
But
and then, go ahead.
I think there was an actual change in his psyche and who he was.
Definitely.
Though.
There for sure was.
If you watch his stand-up comedy or even the YouTube college, what was that thing called?
College.
Was it Derek comedy?
He did Derek comedy, but he was also in those YouTube videos that was college. It wasn't called College Humor, but it was something like.
I know what you're talking about.
And he was in some of those, and then you just listen to his old Childish Gambino stuff, Camp, his first album. Way different than what he's doing now.
Yeah, his whole life was satirical and kind of a joke, and then all of a sudden it wasn't.
Yeah,
when he left Community.
Yeah. He's gone from being the super silly, goofy guy to one of the coolest people on the planet.
And maybe the most serious person I've ever witnessed.
Serious, very socially conscious.
Yeah.
I don't think he smiles or makes jokes anymore.
Right. You think about him now, it's you don't think of the goofy guy doing stand-up. You think of this cool, solemn, I don't know.
Yeah, they're almost two different people. I'll always see him a little bit as Troy Barnes just because I love Community so much.
Right. Right. But yeah, I think I went back and watched Community this earlier this year, and it was like, man, he's so different now.
Yep. That era is dead and gone, and it has been for a long time.
Yeah. Well,
enjoying the era now, though.
Oh yeah.
Don't hate it. No, it's not not a diss at all. It's 100% like, it's like the best way to put it is it doesn't seem like he's an imposter. Like he doesn't seem like he went from like, it doesn't seem like it was an unnatural transition to where he is now. He seems genuinely cool, and I'm here for it. Anything he does, I'm into. So
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. In February, he signed an exclusive deal with Prime Video. So.
All right.
Sweet.
Right on, man. Right on. Well, thanks, Mob. And then we're also joined by our good friend in his home office, Mr. Kevin Keith. Hello, Kevin.
Hello, Ken. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm great. But more importantly, what are you big on this week?
This week, I'm big on a couple things. My list just went away. But the first one is I'm big on second chances. And I've been going back through the Captain America movies lately because I've been watching The Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I just found myself not knowing what was going on or not being able to remember what was happening. So I started with the original Captain America, the first Avenger, and then I watched Winter Soldier. And I mixed in a couple Avenger movies as well. So I'm very caught up on the Cap timeline. And I got to say, when I first watched all the Marvel movies, I did not care for Captain America at all. I thought he was cheesy as hell. He still is cheesy. And I just didn't like, anytime he was on screen, I was like, this guy, get him off. But seeing his whole story arc put together, I gained such a better appreciation for who he is played at, or just Chris Evans playing him. He's like way less cheesy the second time around. I don't think he's just like this American goober anymore. He's, I don't know. And I was just too stupid. I just missed it the first time. But hats off to you, Chris Evans. You played a mean Captain America.
Yeah.
I applaud you.
Especially now that we have the new Captain America.
Oh, yeah. He sucks.
Well, okay.
So hard.
Let's be clear. The character sucks. Wyatt Russell's really good in that role. Are you guys all caught up on it so far?
I am.
Nope.
Okay.
He's very convincing as a guy you don't want to like.
Right. Yes. And it's like you look at, now that you have this other Captain America, you look back on the story of Captain America, the Chris Evans story of Captain America. And it's like, okay, yeah. I like
this
Captain
guy was
America.
Actually exactly why everyone loved him so much.
Yeah, exactly.
And then a second smaller big on the big on the documentary scene lately. There's been a couple new docs on Netflix that I've really enjoyed. Let's see, what were they? The Last Blockbuster was super good. The one on the college admissions scandal, I think it's something about Varsity Blues, Operation Varsity Blues. Just finished the This Is a Robbery one that's on Netflix about the Boston art theft of 1990.
Yeah.
And there's one more. Oh, the one on Hulu called about WeWork. Also very interesting. Highly recommend it if you guys haven't watched it.
Interesting.
You guys know what WeWork is or
yes.
was? It's it's just an interesting documentary and a look into a very toxic work environment of the new age.
You're so cultured.
Isn't WeWork? Correct me if I'm wrong. That is like office space for rent.
Correct. It was basically people that work from home or remotely. They can share an office space with other people that aren't related to their business whatsoever. But they would bring in they had baristas and ping pong, kind of like VU, but if VU just rented out their office space to anyone that wanted to use it. And it turns out it was just a bunch of smoke and mirrors, and there was a lot of shady things going on, and this dude was weird, and then he got a giant buyout.
Interesting.
And yeah.
Very interesting. Well, cool,
Highly
man.
recommended.
Cool.
I am cultured.
You are. You're very cultured. I would say you're the most cultured out of all of us.
I won't disagree.
I said it.
Yeah.
Well, cool. And then also, my name's Kenny. I'm one of the co-hosts of the CineBoiz podcast as well. And I'll tell you what I'm big on this week. So there's a movie that came out on Netflix starring Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer called Thunder Force. I'll be honest with you, I'm not big on Thunder Force.
Okay, I heard it was bad.
Not a great movie. However, Jason Bateman in that movie, maybe one of his best roles ever. But essentially, without trying to do spoilers, I mean, it's not that great of a movie, so I doubt a ton of people are going to watch it. Essentially, Jason Bateman plays a character who is bitten on his nether region by a radioactive crab and now has developed crab arms instead of human arms. And it's the if you're gonna watch it, that's why you should try to fast forward to all the parts where Jason Bateman's in it, because he's perfect. He does such a great job. He's so funny. Uh, yeah, I don't even really know how to like explain it anymore. You just got to see it. But
Is he
Mhm.
is he any different than the Jason Bateman that he plays in literally everything else?
No, it's Jason Bateman with crab
Okay.
arms. Like that's the
That's
best
great.
part.
That's
is like
all I want.
It's just himself, and he just
You know what I appreciate? I appreciate like when it's like friends. It feels like friends are doing other friends favors.
right.
Like Jason Bateman and Melissa McCarthy have done a few things together, and I feel
Yeah.
like they're friends and they enjoy each other.
Mhm.
And Melissa McCarthy was like, "Jason, we've got this role. Will you do it?" And he said, "Yes."
Yeah,
I love when you kind of like are watching a movie. Like I had no idea Jason Bateman was in that movie. I knew the movie existed. I knew that Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer were the stars. Had no idea Jason Bateman was in it.
right.
I just feel like it was a favor that he did for her because he just likes working with her, and that makes me happy, even if the movie sucks.
We turned it on because we just wanted something easy to watch last night, and it was a complete surprise. And then just the added dynamic of him with crab arms is just so funny. So I don't recommend Thunder Force. You know what I do recommend is seeing if you can find YouTube clips of Jason Bateman with the crab arms, and you'll laugh. It's pretty funny. But yeah, that's what I'm big on this week. But guys, enough about me. All right. I got some box office numbers for you. Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Hit me.
All right, here we go. So, the box office is growing. So last week we only had dailies. We didn't have our full weekend poll, but this week we do. So coming in number 3 this week was The Unholy, made $2.4 million. I believe that's
Refresh my memory.
I believe that's a
That
horror
movie?
film.
Okay.
Something about demons and God and Satan, and
A hearing impaired girl is visited by the Virgin Mary and can suddenly hear, speak, and heal the sick. The people flock to witness her miracles. Terrifying events unfold. Are they the work of Virgin Mary or someone more sinister? That's The Unholy.
That sounds scary. So terrifying.
What a plot.
I literally just pissed my pants. So there you go.
So did I.
Yeah.
I did not.
That's terrifying.
Oh, you're not part of the Pee Pants Club.
Yeah, loser. And then coming in number 2 this week was Nobody with $2.7 million.
It's kind of funny because it's the movie Nobody, but it sounds like you're saying nobody came in second.
Yep.
I see.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 2 is the film Nobody.
Yeah.
I'm not going to see it in theaters, but I will watch the hell out of it when it comes to Netflix. I'll say that.
Yeah, probably.
I cannot wait to watch it from the comfort of my own home.
Correct.
That's one of those movies. And then number 1, of course, was Godzilla vs. Kong. This past weekend made $13.4 million. So
it's fun to see double digits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how much it made.
Didn't it do big money last week too?
Well, last week on Thursday alone, it made 6.7. So what I want to see.
So it for sure made double digits.
Let's do last week. Last week. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Let me double check this. Oh, okay. So last week, Godzilla vs. Kong made $32.2 million at the box office.
32.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most money since what?
Probably Sonic the Hedgehog. I think that was the last big. Actually, the last movie I saw in a theater before COVID was The Invisible Man. So I bet that was the last big money maker.
You think that made big money?
Yeah,
I know it
think
was.
so.
I know it had good reviews, but did people go see it?
Well, I did. There were other people there too. So I like to think I'm a somebody, you know.
But are you
I
a
don't-
nobody?
I might be a nobody. That's okay though. But yeah, that's it for the box office this week. What a pull. What a pull for the box office.
Who knew that it would be Godzilla that brought us back to life? That brought theaters back to life.
Yeah. I'll say I watched Godzilla vs. Kong on HBO Max. I really liked it. It's a really enjoyable movie. If
I've
you
heard
just-
it knows what it is.
It knows what it is. That's exactly what it does. It knows what it is. Say, hey, we got big monkey, we got big lizard. Let's make them fight, but let's make it entertaining. And they did a great job. So the Godzilla movie that came out before that was like King of the Monsters. I watched that one. Not very good. Didn't know what it was. It was like, hey, let's try to take this really seriously. All right.
Which one was that?
Is that the one with the 11 child?
Yeah. Well, she's in kind of vs. Kong also. Yeah.
Was that
Millie Bobby
Millie
Brown?
Was
Bobby
Bryan Cranston in that movie?
No, he was in the first Godzilla movie. So it's a kind of a trilogy ish.
Of course it is.
And then the Kong movie, the Skull Island movie, that's pretty good too. I like that one.
I never saw it, but John C. Reilly almost convinced me.
It's
He was
John C.
close.
Riley. It's a lot of Marvel people. It's Samuel L.
Yeah.
Jackson, Brie Larson,
Yeah,
Tom
man.
Hiddleston. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Weird.
King of the Monsters, not so great. Godzilla vs. Kong. You know what I'm really excited about, actually, and I've been getting more excited about it as it gets closer to being released. The new Mortal Kombat movie.
You are very excited about that.
I don't know why. I don't understand why I'm so excited for it, but it's like on my calendar, it's on my radar, and I'm ready to watch it.
I've seen the other Mortal Kombat movie.
Mhm.
Are there two?
There were back in the '90s. There were 2 Mortal Kombat movies that came out.
I've seen both of them, and they were
Oh, they're
very
trash.
bad.
They're
Very
very
bad.
bad.
Very bad.
I'll tell you what came from the original Mortal Kombat movie that has not lost any steam is the Mortal Kombat theme song.
That's true.
I love that.
I'll give you that.
Here's a good question for you. Here's something up for debate. I'm gonna say it, and then I'm gonna go get my charger for my computer because it's about to die, and I didn't plan ahead very well. So I'm sorry. But which is better, the Mortal Kombat theme song or the Space Jam theme song? Discuss.
Ooh. Ooh.
I think for me, if I had a gun to my head, I'd pick Space Jam.
I'm a Space Jam boy.
So I wasn't cool enough to be allowed to play Mortal Kombat very often.
Right.
So I don't have a huge nostalgic connection to it.
The only way I was allowed to play Mortal Kombat was if I went over to one of my heathen friends' houses that had it, and I didn't tell my parents that I played it. That was the only way.
We had the same childhood, it sounds like.
And so it wasn't allowed in my house, just like Power Rangers weren't allowed in my house. And I loved Power Rangers, but I never got to watch them, never got to play with them. So I never really got to play with Mortal Kombat that much. So I'm a Space Jam boy.
Unlike same deal, but my mom hated the Ninja Turtles. I had to watch them in secret.
See, Ninja Turtles, I was good with. I had the Ninja Turtle toys. I had the turtle that opened up and was a scene inside that you played with. That was my favorite toy growing up.
Man.
This went the direction I was not expecting, and I'm into it.
Well, we were talking about how our childhoods were very sheltered and we weren't allowed to play cool
Well,
things
I
Mortal
like
Kombat.
how you said you had to keep your playing with Ninja Turtles a secret. Would you say it was a secret of the use? I feel like that fell on deaf ears, but that's okay.
Well, it did fall on my. I pulled up the Mortal Kombat theme song.
So Mob actually didn't hear it.
So I didn't hear it because I wanted to hear it. And you're right, it slaps.
It slaps, dude. And I think we're all in agreement. It is better than the Space Jam.
Sure.
Space Jam boy, man.
Hang on, I'm just gonna play it real quick because I
It's
just feel
it's
like
nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
I didn't have much. You missed it. I didn't have much Mortal Kombat nostalgia.
Ditto. I can't hear that at all.
You can't hear that.
Nope.
How about now?
Just barely something.
Sounds bad. This is bad.
Bad podcasting. I'm for it, but it's bad.
You're the only one who's enjoying this right now.
All right. Well,
And it's not because the song's bad. It's because we can't hear it.
Give us a 5-second rendition.
Okay. You just want me to sing it?
Yes.
Even though there's no words? Okay,
Correct.
Here we go.
Right.
Just do your best.
From memory, there's like a I'm out of breath.
Great.
I mean, you did it justice, I think.
Yeah, I think so. It was pretty good. There's a new version of it for the new movie. I listened to it.
Is it just EDM?
It's dubstep, but it's like the same song.
Mm.
I didn't hate it, but I just wanted to listen to the original. You know, I think there's just something about like 90s techno dance club music that I just have a place in my heart for. So, yeah. Well, cool. That was a tangent, but I was into it. All right. So here's something I gotta address with you guys. So last week we introduced a new segment to our podcast and called it the Junk Drawer Fact Check, where essentially anytime the junk drawer decides they want to talk about movies, they know we're listening, and so we're gonna fact check them. I got some feedback on it, and it wasn't great. It was like, hey, this is kind of petty and silly and small. Like, maybe don't do it. And I thought about that. And then I listened to their podcast and they said something. So this segment is not going anywhere. Okay. I'm into this segment. And anytime they want to talk about movies, I'm going to fact check them on it.
We're going to do this segment and we're actually going to do it harder than before.
Yeah. So even harder. All right.
Correct.
So this past week on the Junk Drawer, Austin had mentioned that the movie Volcano had come out in the summer of 1998. And that is incorrect. He got the year and the season wrong. Volcano was released in spring of 1997.
I was going to say that sounds like a 97 movie.
Like, who doesn't know that off the top of their head?
Right. I did. I was listening to it in my car and I said, that's wrong. I didn't even have to look it up.
If there's anything you don't want to cross Kenny with, it's a year a movie came out.
Yeah, don't do
or
that.
A season.
Or a season that it came
Well, I had to look up the season, but I knew the year.
I mean,
I knew it felt wrong, though.
I said what I said, and I had no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually watched that thing live, and didn't even faze me when he said that. So
yeah, well,
phased Kenny though.
Yeah, Drunk Drawer, this is your gotcha moment. I gotcha. So, talking about movies, do it. I dare you. I dare all three of you to just keep talking about movies. All right, and I hope when you do it, you're scared because I'm coming for you. Okay. The other thing they did mention, Grit kind of mentioned it towards the end of the episode. He commissioned us, if you will. It wasn't really a challenge. It was more of a commission to find a movie that had a lot of people who have been canceled. They were talking about Kevin Spacey and Harvey Weinstein, and they're like, look and see if there's a movie that is out there that had all of these people who've just been canceled, from like the 90s that they were all in. So here's what I'll say. I found two examples, and they're both kind of hit or miss. I couldn't find a movie that was like a home run, like, oh yeah, there's a ton of people in here who are completely canceled. But I did find two that are kind of like on the cusp, I would say. So the first movie is the movie Outbreak. So the movie Outbreak had Kevin Spacey in it. It also had Dustin Hoffman in it, who's kind of like teetering on that sort of canceled.
If he wasn't sort of retired / super old, he would have been full on canceled.
Right.
I think.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So there's been stuff that has come out that Dustin Hoffman was kind of like handsy on sets and stuff like that.
Did Kevin Spacey ever work with Bill Cosby? Because that would be your winner.
It would be a home run.
I don't think he did.
Was Kevin Spacey in Ghost Dad?
I was going to ask the same question.
Ghost
was
Dad.
he in Ghost Dad? So, and then also Volcano had Morgan Freeman, who kind of the same deal as Dustin Hoffman, where he hasn't been canceled, but there has been things where he's been kind of, handsy, flirtatious on sets, and people have been like, hey, that's not cool. So I guess Outbreak could be one. The only other one I found was a movie starring Kevin Spacey, that was executively produced by Harvey Weinstein, and that was The Shipping News. Again, not a home run, but like, there's some,
Let's throw out some other names because I'm struggling to get beyond Kevin Spacey, if we're being honest here.
Well, I think Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, Bill Cosby. Those are like the big three.
Those are the Trinity. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of others who are kind of on that, like,
Who's the Mandalorian lady?
Gina Carano
Yeah,
or
Gina.
Gina. Yeah.
I mean, that's just very recent.
She was just recent, and she wasn't like huge.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're gonna
And
find.
I think she'll still kind of be around. She just sent a tweet that was kind of just like,
Don't do it. We went over that. Don't do it.
Yeah,
just don't do it.
Smart.
If you're a celebrity, just don't tweet or let somebody run your Twitter for you. Like hire somebody to run your Twitter.
You know who has one of the most interesting social media presences you'll ever see?
Who's that?
Jeremy Renner.
Oh, because he always posts his music?
Because yes, the music, he has his own app, which is basically just him charging fans to like see tweets that he would tweet normally. That he also like. It's he's not probably my favorite celebrity after doing a little bit of a deep dive on him.
He's not your favorite?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's Kenny's favorite. I know for a fact he's Kenny's favorite.
He's a good
Kenny
actor, don't get me
loves
wrong.
If you tell me that he's not the best Avenger, I'll slap you in the mouth.
He's definitely not the best Avenger.
He's the most music. He's the best. He's the best at music of the Avengers.
Didn't Robert Downey Jr. have like some sort of like musical album at some point?
I think so.
It seems like he would have.
I don't know if he had like an album, but I feel like Robert Downey Jr. sings.
I actually know
something.
Brie Larson is very good at music.
Yeah.
Like very musically oriented.
To expand to just people who were in Marvel movies, Jeff Bridges has music.
Oh shoot, yeah.
That's true.
He's not an Avenger, but he was a bad guy.
Well, who is the best Avenger if it's not Jeremy Renner, who it clearly isn't?
Oh. To be clear, I don't think Jeremy Renner is the best Avenger.
Right. We've had this. Jeremy Renner, I can't get past his fingers, but go ahead.
What's wrong with his fingers?
Look him up sometime.
Never looked up Jeremy Renner's fingers?
No.
My God.
They're like sausages.
It's disturbing.
It's messed up, man. Can't get past it.
It's kind of like Tom Cruise's teeth. Once you see it once, you can't unsee them.
But he fixed his teeth. Oh.
Nah, but they're still off center.
Thick.
They're thick. With 2 C's.
I would say 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. His fingernails look too big.
Exactly.
They look fake. They look like prosthetic hands. Like he's got hobbit hands over his normal hands.
It seems like the digits are oversized for the rest of his hands, if that makes sense. Like the ends of his fingers are too big.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, if we're going to talk about Best Avenger, I think I'm going to have to say, well, okay.
So is
really
it like your favorite, or is this your best, or like the most powerful?
It's not the most powerful or who would win in a fight. It's just like, who's the coolest? Who's the best? I would say it's a combination of who's your favorite, but also can't be like Korg. You know, he's awesome. I love him.
Well, he's not.
But he doesn't do anything.
He shows up at the end game to fight.
He does do that.
Yeah, mate. He does.
Yeah, mate.
And he says, and then Captain America says, Avengers Assemble. And there's so many people does that make everybody who shows up at that final fight in Endgame, does that make them an Avenger?
I know. Right?
No, we know who Avengers are.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
They have to have had their little signature on the end credits of the event. You know what I'm talking about?
Point. So that would be Jeremy Renner, Scarlett Johansson, Mark Ruffalo, RDJ, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth.
Tom Holland.
No, he didn't show up with the signature. No.
Really?
I think it has to. I think the signature ones are the original, like Avengers, like the original 6.
Well, then I would classify. anyone that's classified as an Avenger anytime in the movie, I would say is an Avenger.
Okay, fair enough. I would say Thor.
I would say Fat Thor.
Thor is my favorite. From like, he's good. His powers are sweet. He's cool. He's hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
I think he just brings the most to the table.
I agree.
From a cinematic enjoyment view.
I agree.
Well, this is the
yeah. Go ahead.
Well, then who's the worst? Because the worst Avenger is actually a much better conversation. I'm realizing.
Oh, that's a good one. Worst Avenger. Well, we already kind of went in depth about Captain America, so I would say we all agree he's not the worst Avenger.
I don't think he's the worst.
He's I would have said he's maybe my least favorite originally, but that's definitely not the case anymore after the last 2 weeks.
I can never say Iron Man because if it wasn't Thor,
without him, there is no
Man.
Avenger. Yeah.
Him.
Is it Jeremy Renner?
Could be Jeremy Renner. I don't.
We're just talking like the original 6.
I don't love Black Widow.
I like Black Widow.
Her dialogue is often really rough.
Yeah.
Like whoever was giving her the quick little like witty comments didn't do her very well.
Yeah. Also, I watched Winter Soldier a few weeks back, and I feel like they over sexualized her a little too much in that movie. And I feel like
are you surprised though?
Yeah, because I don't feel like she's like that in the other movies. Well, I guess Iron Man 2. But like, yeah, I don't know.
There was a weird thing between her and Captain America in that movie.
Yeah, it was uncomfortable. I didn't like it.
It really was.
And I feel like that's not Scarlett Johansson's fault. I think it's the execs at Marvel. But anyway, but I feel like that toned down after that a lot. And she became more like, I don't know. I like her. I'm excited for Black Widow.
It might be Jeremy Renner. I think it's Jeremy Renner.
It's Jeremy Renner.
Let's stop beating around the bush. It's Jeremy Renner.
I mean, cool. He's really good at shooting bow and arrow. So was Robin Hood.
He should have been dead a bunch, I feel like. There's no way he survives all that he actually survived.
Yeah, and he's still alive and he's getting a show. So, yeah.
Yeah, but he's not getting a movie.
That's true.
I would actually Loki's also he's not an Avenger, but he's in the realm. He's one of my other favorites.
He is probably my favorite Marvel character, just because he's got so much going on, and I am so excited for Loki, the TV show.
Me too. I'm probably a little too excited. I'm probably overhyping it for myself, but I don't know. They've set a high standard with WandaVision and whatever this one is.
Yeah, they haven't made a dud yet, which I think is good. They have a good track record with movies and TV shows. I've yet to watch something that I dislike. I have like ones I prefer not to watch again, but
yeah. Like Age of Ultron was like.
Yeah.
So that was one of them I rewatched because I was like, what happened in that movie? Mm-hmm. And it's so important, which is so unfortunate. That's probably the most unfortunate thing that happened in the entire Avengers franchise. But that was like the keystone of all the knowledge of everything that happened.
Yeah, it's a very important story. It advances the story in a very important way, but the movie itself is, yeah. I will say this. I think that my favorite Marvel superhero has yet to show up, unless you count his TV show, which was technically part of the MCU. But Daredevil, like, I want Daredevil in the MCU for real. Like, by far my favorite.
Wasn't he rumored to be in something coming up?
Rumored to be in the new Spider-Man movie, but
that's what it was. Everyone's rumored to be in that movie, though. So
I would love to have him and then Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin in the MCU. That'd be sweet. They're both fantastic. Okay. Enough Marvel talk.
I don't even know where we started on that.
I don't know, man. This is this is why we need Tom, is because Tom is just our moral compass. He keeps things straight, and we just go all over the place without him.
But here's a question. Since Tom's not on this week, is Laura going to listen?
Laura, if you watch this week, your code word is Orville Redenbacher. That's a phrase, actually.
Just
Orville
like
Redenbacher.
It's
Text
actually
me
a
that.
name.
Yeah.
It's that, but
Comment-
also, yeah, proper noun. Text
comment
me
on
Orville
Instagram
Redenbacher
or
or
tweet
comment.
at us. Tweet at us, Orville Redenbacher.
Does she
Is
have
he on
Twitter?
I don't know.
Text
Create
someone.
a Twitter.
Yes.
Tweet at
Orville
us.
Redenbacher.
We'll retweet it. So if you do it, or you comment, we'll post it on Instagram.
Or have Tom relay the message.
Yeah, good call. Good call.
Do you think Tom will listen since he's not involved?
No.
Tom, if you're listening,
No.
your code word is marshmallow. Marshmallow.
Marshmallow?
Text Kenny the word marshmallow, lowercase only, please.
Lowercase only. That's the most important part.
If he texts you a capital M, then you know he didn't listen.
And if he texts all of us, we know he didn't listen.
Correct. Just Kenny.
Yeah, just me.
Lowercase m.
Fair enough. Yeah. So guys, we had a big week on Twitter and Instagram for our princess fight. It was pretty highly contested. A lot of surprises too. A lot of surprises in there. But we do officially have a winner as of this morning. So the winner of Princess Fight 2021 is Mulan.
I'm not surprised.
That was
I
your
was
pick,
worried
right?
though. That was
Yeah.
me.
You know who had a meteoric rise in that 7th seed?
No.
Nala
Yeah.
came out of nowhere.
It's because it was a hell of a pick. And
Yeah.
if any of us were thinking along the same lines that Ma was thinking, she would have been a top 2 pick, I feel like.
Right.
Right.
One
No,
or two.
the correct answer is Mulan because Mulan is destroying Nala. Mulan's destroying any of them.
But I think Nala's beating pretty much everyone else.
Yeah. Well, and so the first round was Pocahontas versus Nala. Nala's destroying Pocahontas because Pocahontas isn't going to touch an
Pocahontas.
animal. Like
Tough
she's
draw.
not going to fight an animal, and Nala's going to protect her babies, and she's going to destroy her.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, to my knowledge, Mulan's the only one that's like generally wielding a weapon most of the time.
That's true. And the picture
Yeah.
was the only one. She had a sword in the picture.
She had a sword.
So maybe it was biased. Maybe it's
No,
not.
Her
I
whole
mean,
thing
when
is
you-
being a warrior.
When you think about it, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to campaign for Nala, but I know the right answer is Mulan.
I mean, it's a value pick of all value picks, though. To get her with the second last pick of the draft,
Yeah.
I still applaud you for it.
Yeah.
And I'm still mad at myself for not thinking of it, to be quite honest.
I think we're all beating ourselves up a little bit on that one.
As you should. Just next time we draft, get on my level.
Got it. Nailed it. Okay.
I wish I could.
Good enough. So congratulations to Mulan, wherever she is. I'm sure she listens. And congratulations to Kevin who picked Mulan. So Princess
And
Fight.
thank you to the spinner for picking me first.
Yeah, Kevin,
This
good job.
spinner.
Good job with not screwing up the first pick.
Yeah.
I'll
Great
take it.
Very good.
Way to not pull a Oakland Raiders. Not a sports podcast.
Sports podcast.
But I did see someone walking today, like on the side of the road. He was wearing a Broncos snow hat and a Chiefs gator. And I was like, what? How does
Come
that
on, man.
work?
That's not okay.
But not a
You
sports
don't do that.
podcast.
Not a sports podcast, but you don't do that. So, well, guys, as we said earlier in the podcast, Tom is at a movie trivia and movie anniversary conference this weekend. So, thanks again to Tom for all the work he does and going to this conference to make our podcast better. We really appreciate him. But since he's not here, unfortunately, that means that the movie trivia and anniversaries duties has fallen to me. So we got some movie trivia for you guys. And here's the thing. Tom really does a great job of like, hey, here's the theme this week. I don't have a theme. I can't do what he does. Okay. But I do have some trivia questions. And since I'm the one with the questions, there's only 2 other people. I think it should be Kevin versus Mob in movie trivia. And I think the way we should play this is first to 3 correct answers wins. And when I ask the question, to buzz in, just raise your hand. And whoever has their hand raised first, I will call upon you. If you get it right, you get the point. If you get it wrong, which is burped, if you get it wrong, your opponent has a chance to steal. So classic game show trivia kind of rules, I'd say. Are you guys ready?
I think so. I think I understand the rules.
Gosh, I hope so.
So these questions are not super hard, but they're also not super easy. So they have a little bit of a challenge to them. But at the same time, I think we'll get to 3. If it gets to a point where you're just not getting any questions right, we'll just stop it. And I'll just make fun of you.
Agree
guys.
to disagree. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here we go with the first question. There are 6 films.
I already don't know. 6
Okay.
films is too many.
You're not going to. Okay. Let me finish the question. Okay. You're not going to have to name 6 films. There are only 6 horror films that have ever been nominated for an Oscar. If you name one, you get it right. Go. Mob.
The Exorcist.
That is correct.
Dang it.
Mob has 1 point.
That's what I was going to say.
All right. Excuse me. Okay.
I want
Question
it
number-
on the record that I'm not a horror boy. I don't watch many horror movies.
I'm
a horror
not
boy.
either.
No, I think Mob is a bit of a horror boy.
All right. So, question number 2. Which film written, directed, and produced by James Cameron went on to become the highest grossing film of its time? Mob again.
I think his internet's beating
Titanic.
mine.
That is correct. That is correct. That is correct.
I need to start raising my hand before the question's over.
Yeah, that would be good. Okay.
Well, I think we should do this like a game show where we can raise our. Well, you're kind of reading the question. It's not easy, but go ahead. I was saying if I raise my hand and you're still asking the question, you stop the question. I can answer.
Yep, I like that.
And then if I get it wrong, you finish the question, and then the next person would get the.
That's really smart. I like that. Okay, here's the next question. Kevin, you have almost an insurmountable point differential that you need to come up. You need to make up.
Right where I want.
Okay, here we go. Which films did Tom Hanks receive an Academy Award for Best Actor? Films, so plural. Kevin.
Philadelphia. And Castaway.
No.
Damn it.
Mob, you have the chance to steal for the win.
Why did he not get one for Castaway?
It's Forrest Gump.
Damn it.
And so are they acting? Is it in Philadelphia?
That is correct.
But okay.
That's dumb. That's the right. I should have known.
I was like, when you said Philadelphia, I was like, that's the harder one to get, I feel.
Right. That's what I
Then
thought
you
too.
said Castaway.
I couldn't. That's the one I know. I don't know why I knew that one. There's so many others he could be nominated for.
Yeah, but it's Forrest Gump.
Okay. So here's what I'm
He's
going to
better
do.
in Castaway than Forrest Gump. I'm going to say it.
I'm going to ask Kevin one question. If he gets it right,
It's worth
you
5
get
points.
3 points. And then the next question will be for the win.
Just
So
keep
it's just like-
asking. Ask what you got.
All right. It's going to be a tough one, though. So if you get it right, let me. Okay, here we go. If you get this right, we go into overtime. So, Kevin, which actress has the longest TV career spanning over 80 years?
Betty White. I don't know.
That is correct.
Really? Wow. That's
Come
the oldest
on.
person I
What
know.
drama? What?
That's the
drama?
oldest person I know.
This
Betty
is
White.
stupid. That was an easy question.
For
When
the
did
win.
she start acting? My God.
Well,
Like,
80 years ago. Well, she hasn't done anything in a while. She's 99.
she's been in
isn't she?
Snickers commercials
That's true.
and
Okay.
stuff.
Okay. For the win. Which Indiana Jones film sparked the controversy that led to the creation of the PG-13 rating? Kevin, you raised your hand.
I did. So I will say the Temple of Doom.
That is correct. Kevin wins.
Yeah, because he pulls his heart out. That's a bloody movie. That's scary.
This is the dumbest thing in the world. The one question I didn't know. The one question. Tom, come back. We need you. Kevin said Castaway. That should get him out no matter what. He said Castaway.
But I knew the harder part, so
You said Castaway.
In a way, I'm super smart for knowing the harder part of the question.
That is, yeah. So I think that was so fair. I don't think there was anything wrong with the way we did that.
I don't think there's any way anyone can find any fault with the way.
I'm gonna go see if the junk drawer will take me on.
Don't say that. That's
I just said it. Austin, AD Grit.
We're really falling apart at the seams without time.
Yeah,
I'm opening up my recruitment.
Well, now that Kevin has wiped the floor with Mob with trivia, what do you say we need to do some movie anniversaries? What do you think?
I'd say it's about time.
Okay.
Whatever.
So, happy 5-year anniversary to Barbershop: The Next Cut.
The Next Cut. That's the sequel to the original, I guess.
It's the third movie in the trilogy.
There's a third even.
Yeah, so Barbershop and then Barbershop 2, and then there was a long gap, and then Barbershop 3.
Yep. Honestly, didn't know anything about Barbershop 2.
Starring Lamorne Morris.
Yes, he is in it.
Who, actually, speaking of Lamorne Morris.
I love Lamorne.
We were watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I looked over at Catherine and I said, Anthony Mackie is excellent, but I would like to see Lamorne Morris as the Falcon.
He'd be really good at the Falcon, kind of like how Paul Rudd's really good at being Ant-Man.
Yeah. Let's just get him in the Marvel.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah. Let's get him in there somehow. Happy 10-year anniversary to Scream 4. Did we do that one already?
No, I don't know.
We didn't. I don't think we
10-year
did.
Anniversary to Scream 4?
Yeah, maybe we did. I don't know. Man.
How many Screams have you seen, Kenny?
I've seen all of them.
I've seen the first one.
They're all
maybe the second one, but definitely maybe the second one.
Yeah, and then happy 25-year anniversary to James and the Giant Peach.
Man, I loved that movie when I was little.
So did I.
Don't know why.
I kind of remember it scaring me a little bit. I don't know.
It's a weird vibe for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'd like to think that trivia and anniversaries this week were an absolute train wreck. So, Tom, get back as soon as you can.
Sure, a train wreck.
Yeah, it was not good. It really came off the wheels there. But guys, that's pretty much it for this week. Do you guys have anything else you want to say?
Batman is not a superhero. Thank you. Good night.
Batman's not a superhero.
He's a vigilante with a lot of money. Go ahead. Thank you and good night.
What is Iron Man then?
Vigilante, not a vigilante, just a dude with a lot of money who flies around in his high tech saving the world.
So not a super. So you're saying Iron Man is not a superhero?
Correct.
Wow.
So to be a superhero, you're defining you have to have abilities beyond normal human.
Correct.
Okay.
That is bold take. I don't agree with it.
So you're saying Patrick Mahomes is not a superhero?
He does have superpowers.
All right.
It's true. Not a sports podcast.
He's done stuff that I haven't seen other humans do, nor could they replicate.
That's a good point.
That's fair. Great point.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Okay, well, guys, that's it for this week. We, of course, are the CineBoiz podcast. We are part of the Corkbats Podcast Network. Again, be sure to, if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, to like, review, rate, subscribe, tell a friend. If you're watching on the Corkbats YouTube page, do all those same things. But instead of listening to it, watch it. You can also listen at the same time. In fact, we prefer you, if you're going to watch on YouTube, that you also listen to it. Is that fair?
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I think you try and sync up the audio. Yeah.
Yeah. Be sure to follow Corkbats on YouTube, like our video, like all their videos. Also, be sure to check out corkbats.com. And then you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the CineBoiz. And you can also follow Corkbats on Twitter and Instagram at Corkbats. Thank you for joining me, guys. I hope you have an amazing week.
Bye.
Well, thanks.
Goodbye.